Welcome to Optimistic Insight. This world we create is not always the reality that we deserve. Do you feel like sometimes you suffer from anxiety, physical pain, ailments, and even emotional imbalance? Maybe it's just the reality that you've created from your internal dialogue. Every day we write the story to our life, but we never ask ourselves, what is the context of the words we are using? What do these words even mean internally to us, and how are they settled into the tone for my story? Well, it could just take a different point of perspective to gain another insight into what these words actually create for us. Welcome to Optimistic Insight. Today on Optimistic Insight, we are dropping in and tapping into autonomy. Autonomy. Oh man, this is such a fun word to play with. Being autopilot, being on, being the anatomy. Oh man, there's so many things that break down this word, but we really look at autonomy and look through this optimistic insight in which we look at words and see how they shift, move, and shape our frequencies of how we really see and create from the heart. We and everything that compiles us is made up of individual and unique organisms that contain their own inner workings, that by universal forces come together and function as a full-on culture. This autonomy, we start to think of ourselves as we have a full control over us, our anatomy. The self-governing process of autonomy is what gives the individual a complete sense of awareness within its own action and gives birth to responsibility for the existence to remain on and not consciously off to its own governing. So the story I have for you today is called A Perceptance. And this is a little mashup between our perception and the acceptance of it. And do we do this through automatic consciousness, or do we just have our conscious on auto? Perceptance is a culturally fabricated and socially molded perspective that has been accepted into our individual state of being. At heart, the willingness to concede to a general way of thinking, though it is not yours. Everywhere we look, we see it woven into the fabric of American culture. But what is American culture? Culture is something that's taught. It's a way of being that is passed on through behavioral, emotional, physical, and even cognitive consent. At heart, American culture is who America tells you to become for the acquisition of what you want, rather than encouraging you to embrace your true self and achieve fulfillment for you. Psychologically conditioned judgments have been so deeply ingrained that we can look at a highly proclaimed public figure in pure judgment and accept being upset at the fact that they are not wearing a specific outfit, safety procedure, or mask because we so choose. This judgment is based on the opinion crafted within our mind that we dislike them intrinsically, just through photographic and societal portrayal. Free thought is a thing of the past. We accept a perception based off of a condition, molded from the hands of segregation and barriered by means of degradation. Our perceptance is not our own. It is not self-crafted. It is not original. It's a market-based psyche, making billions of dollars, of which none are yours. While it sustains an algorithm of separatist, communistic humanism, and all the while cultivating psychosomatic disorders, casting wicks of generational conditioning. The solution? There is no one solution, only the solvent of thought capabilities and accepted human plasticity within the internalizing self-realization rather than internalizing past traumas into self-regression. Basically, this capability that we have to shift our own perspective comes from an internal set of not saying where we came from, but realizing where we are. The inside world that is self will always and forever be deeper than the externally eventualized projection. Explore existentialism and accept your inherent perception of self-knowledge, for it is yours, always. Now, in shifting this perspective and accepting it, it begs the question, do you accept perceptions into yourself with a questioned filter out of respect for the clarity and purity of your being? This is something we begin to shift, mold, and shape our new optimistic insight of this word of autonomy and take back the perspective of our own true acceptance. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Optimistic Insight. I trust that these words have created new ways for you to utilize them and the emotions attached to them. Opening up our perception on the way these words are viewed and processed daily can be the optimistic insight we need to create a more fluid state of being.